Hello everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. Like always, today I want to show you everything about databases. If you're new to databases, hopefully this video is going to show you how you're going to be able to use it, what are each fields inside, how to create one, and how you can pretty much create a form to upload data to that uh, collection without having to use the Wix platform. So you can do everything from the front end. Now, before I start, I wanna also mention here Mayor. I don't know if that's how you say your name. He asked a while back how you can upload more than 10 pictures. So for this one, Wix doesn't allow you to upload more than 10 pictures on a custom form for some reason. So the only way around it is using some type of code, which I've been testing in the last couple of days. But unfortunately, the code I've been using, it only works for a little bit, and it doesn't pretty much continue. Every time you refresh the page, that button stopped working, so only works once, so it's not efficient. So I'm still trying to find a solution for it, but in the meantime, it's only possible to do it with 10 pictures. I tried to do 2 buttons on the same page, but it started giving you an error. So I just want to let you know that I haven't forget, and please just be patient. I'm going to try to figure this out and see if it's even possible. So let's get into this video again. If you have questions, you need help, please let me know, and I'm gonna be very happy to help you. So let's get into this. Okay, so like always, I like to start with a template that's completely empty from scratch. And as you can see, there's actually 2 options to build a website inside Wix. There's actually 3, but the first one, which is ADI, I would not recommend at all. So Editor X is very good if you're trying to do a little bit more custom, advanced designs. Now this one still has some I wouldn't say issues, but it's not compatible with certain apps that you might need. So before you start building any website, just keep in mind that sometimes there are things that are not compatible with Editor X yet, but definitely you can really do some awesome designs in here. So we're gonna use Wix Classic Editor, and we're just gonna again, if you already have a website or a template, feel free to just use your website. Again, you don't need to start from scratch, but I usually just do it so it's easier for you guys to see exactly how everything is built and what's happening, but you can pretty much apply it to any of your websites. So we're gonna go on to the blank templates. We're gonna select this one, which is completely empty. So before I even add any data, I'm just gonna add a name to the page. I'm gonna make it publish right here, and then I'm gonna name it database for beginners. Let's actually put database or databases. That's it. So it's gonna be databases for beginners, right? Or even if you're not a beginner and you already have some knowledge of databases, then this is definitely gonna be very useful, hopefully. And today, my goal is to bring something valuable that can help you on your own projects or projects that you're working for clients. So again, what are databases? So databases are, like the name says, right? It's a place where you can storage some information. It can be pictures, it can be links, it can be text, it can be any content. And what you do is, once you storage anything there, you can either make a display anywhere on your pages. So we're gonna be using databases, data sets. Databases, they also refer them as collections, so just keep that in mind, because sometimes you'll hear collections and then most of the times you hear databases. And then data set is pretty much the tool that's going to connect the database to your page. Okay, so we're gonna go into it so it's not confusing. So the first thing is you're gonna see this panel on the left side, and as you can see right now, you don't have anything that says collections or databases, and that's because you need to turn on the developer mode in order for you to see it under here. Now, before I turn it on, I also want to click here, and there's another option that we always need when we are working with collections or databases, which are what I call inputs, right? So I don't see any button here that says input, and that's again because the developer mode right now it's not on, right? So we need to turn it on. Now, once you turn it on, you're gonna see the option is gonna show up right here. So let's minimize this first. Now we're gonna move this one right here. So you're gonna see this new panel right here, and this one on the left. Now we're not gonna be using this right now, so we can just click on top of this and it's gonna minimize it, and we're gonna minimize this other screen at the bottom. So now you're left with this, but as you can see now, you have what's called a content manager, which is also where we're gonna be building the databases or collections. And as we click here on the plus button, now you're gonna see the new option right here. It's called input. So now you have those tools. So we're gonna go into the databases system or the content manager. So when we click here, you're gonna see you already have this by default. That's something that it already comes built into the page, and you don't, if you want to use it to see some content, feel free to do it after you learn how to use this, but if not, just ignore it. Now you're gonna see you have three buttons right here. You have the content manager, which is this whole thing. Then you have what's called add elements or content elements, and there are actually two ways to build a collection or a database. One is you can manually go to the content manager and create a new collection. Let's say this is if you want to pretty much customize something based on specific things. For example, let's say you're building a real estate website and you want to have a specific things, for example, houses. You want to have pictures for rentals. You want to have some text for the description of each of those properties. So all these elements that you need in order for you to display on your website, then you can, if you want to create everything from scratch, then you're gonna use this one right here, create a new collection. Now Wix, because they already have they're very popular, there's something called teams, right, where you can show employees, you can show people, then there's the listings, which you can show properties, and instead of you having to create everything from scratch, Wix has this option right here called content elements. And then when you select this one, which it says add a preset, you're gonna see this. Now Wix already has the most popular ones. So the first one right here is an item list, so you can customize the content. You have projects, you also have the latest news, portfolio, if you want to show like anything that had to do with like pictures, videos, things like that. If you have like recipes or it's for a restaurant, property listings, if you want to showcase your team members or employees, if you are trying to do something like hiring, website, courses. So these ones, once you select them, will automatically create the pages that you need. So we're not gonna go that route right now because I want to show you everything from scratch. If you learn how to build it from scratch, then these parts become easier to understand, right? So, but again, this is the one of the ways that you can use. So we're gonna close that. We're gonna go to Content Manager, And then the last thing I want to show you is under this option which says data set, you have these three buttons right here. The data set is pretty much the button or the tool that is going to connect that information that you have on your database and is going to display it on your website. That data set form is if you have content with you that you want to upload through your website and connect it to the database in the system of your website. So for example, you want to add a new listing directly from your site, this is what you use. If you want to create a custom form, this is what you use. And then show rich content from a collection, this is going to be adding multiple things. But today we're just going to be focusing on these two. Okay, so now that we know that, we're going to go back to Content Manager, and then we're going to go where it says create new collection. Now you're gonna see this right here. It gives you a little bit of introduction, what it is. It tells you you can store images, text, videos, links, and more. And then you can click Start Creating. Here is where we're gonna name what this collection is gonna be for. So if you're creating a website for realtors, then this is gonna be called properties. If you're creating a website for, let's say, a restaurant, this could be menu. If you're creating a website for a cleaning company, this could be like services, right? So you can name it whatever you like. So right here, this one, because we're gonna create a quick sample for, let's call it listings. Actually, no, we're gonna do something much basic. So this is gonna be services, okay? Right here, then you have a few options where it says, what is this collection for? You're gonna click on here. If you select the first one, anyone can view this data collection. So pretty much this is if you're trying to just showcase information, you don't care if the like anybody that can have your link for the website can see it. So this is available for everybody. If you select form submission, so anyone can submit data to this. So this is gonna be if you wanna create, let's say, a survey website where you're collecting information, or you're creating some type of website where people can add their own content, right? So it's available for everybody. Then you have the second option, which is member generated content, which is like it says, only members can submit and modify data in this collection. So one of the good examples will be if you want to have multiple people adding information, but they're only the ones that can see it. So for example, me, Danny, I'm going to submit my information and I'm going to create an account. When I log in, I can see this information. But if somebody, let's say named Tom, logs in into the same website, they're not gonna see my information, and he adds his own information, he can see everything on his own. So what is this helpful for is, for example, if you want to create a website where you can collect data from different members and you want them to see that information. Another one, it could be useful if you want to create some type of listing website where people can upload their own information so they can display it. For example, Yelp is a listing website. What else? Craigslist is a listing website. And there's a lot of others out there. Lawyers.com is another listing website where all like members go and add their own data and it gets displayed, and then they charge them for showcasing this information, which that can be very, very advanced, but that's where this kind of like way you're gonna be creating content for. So then you only have members, what's called members only, which this is only if you create data for people that join your group or your community and you're displaying information. And then you have members only form submission, is the same thing. So you only let specific people submit their information because they have some type of role in your website. This can be useful if you're selling subscriptions and then you want them to upload their own, let's say, data, because you need that information, let's say if you have a clinic. So you can use it for different things. And then this is just private if you want to use it for use. Now what we're going to use is called custom use. And custom use is you decide what you want to display and how. So once you select that one, you're going to click on set custom permissions. And once you're here, the first thing you're going to see is who can read this content. So in this case, we want to display information that anybody can see it. So we're going to click here. So we say anybody. Who can create content from this collection? This information can be by people that created an account on your website. So these people can create content and it's gonna be displayed so anybody can see it. So you have two parties here, right here. The people that can come to your website and see content, the people that create the content. If you don't want to use a site member, you can use admin. So only you or the owner of the website can add content. And then if you click anyone, then this is very useful if anybody that comes to the website. So for example, if you create like a reviews page or a section where people can add a review, you want to keep it, let's say, open to anyone. So that way they can come and whatever service they got from you, they can review it. So again, it can be however you like it. In this case, we're just going to put it as a site member. And then here it says who can update the content from this collection. We're gonna also put site member, only the people that are registered. Now, if right here you select, right here you select site member author, only the people that created the content is the only one that are gonna be also able to see that content. I hope this is not confusing, but hopefully you understand how this works. Okay, so again, you have this, which is going to be able to display to anyone. You have it only to the registered members. You also have this option, which it could be confusing because it sounds the same, member, site member, right? But site member author means like only the person that created the content is the same person that's going to be able to see this content. Okay, so in this case, we're just going to leave it as anyone. Here, we're also going to leave it as anyone. And who can update this content? I'm going to put only the admin. And then who can delete the content? Only the admin. So I can leave it like that. So once I click set and create collection, you're going to be able to see this option right here. And it's loading. Perfect. Okay, so once you have this option right here, which is the box, right? So this is where you can start creating what you want to display on your website. So we're gonna go back here and we're gonna go to all templates. So I'm gonna show you how this is gonna work. So we're gonna use this website as an example. I click view full demo. So as you can see here, you have an image, you have a small title right here, you have, I will call it a subtitle 1, you have a main title, and then you can call this a second title, and then you have a button, right? And then this button can take you to, let's say, a YouTube channel, or it can take you to a calendar, or they can take you to buy a product, whatever it is. And then you have the logo, right? So you have all these items. So pretty much what we're gonna create is this same form for something like this. So we're gonna create something like this, a form that when people add their information, it's gonna be something like this. And lastly, you have the background. So remember this, you have your main, like the product picture, the background, submenu 1 and submenu 2, main title, and then a button. Okay, so we're gonna try to replicate this as if people were adding like their own profile, for example. So we're gonna go back here. Title automatically stays there by default. If you don't need it, just keep it there, ignore it. It won't affect or anything, so you can leave it there. And it comes with text. So now let's understand each when we go on the property, we're gonna understand each field type. Okay, so we're gonna add a new one, and the first one is gonna be we're gonna add it as a product image. So we're gonna type product image, and we're gonna understand now what are field types. Field types, when you click on this, you're gonna have a list of things. You have text. So text is for people that wanna add, for example, only like it says text, but you're not gonna be able to edit the text or change the font or the size. Whatever text you add and the way the layout is gonna stay the same, so it doesn't change. If you want people to be able to make the text bigger, smaller, font, change the font to make it bold or whatever you want them to do on that, then you want to select the option called rich text. That way they can edit that whenever they're uploading that content. So when also is displaying, it's gonna change according to how they did it. Okay. Now again, text is good if you're planning to add, let's say, a phone number with parentheses, dashes, and that's very good because you have numbers, letter, symbols. But if you only want numbers, you don't want them to be able to add anything else, then you can select the option number. Okay. So I know I'm going back and forth, but that was because I had to explain the part. But again, text will allow you to put any text, numbers, symbols, pretty much use all of your keyword when you're adding content, but it won't be able to let you change the size, the font of that text. Image is, like it says, one single image that you can upload either through the website dashboard or on the front end when you create a custom form. Boolean is an option if, for example, you want to add a button that says yes or no. So they have to make a decision. Number, again, we just say it. If you don't want them to be able to add a dot, a dash, a symbol, or anything other than a number, this is the option. Date and time, if you want them to be able to add, like the time, let's say it's 12:59 a.m., or to add the date, which is 9/17/21. So they can either add just the date or the time or both. As you will scroll down, time, this is if you only want to take time. So you won't be able to add any date, only the time. Rich content, this is if you want to add picture and text at the same time. Rich text, again, is what I mentioned earlier. It can be numbers, symbols. You can add any type of letters or numbers, but the person is going to be able to customize the font, the size, and all that. And then as we scroll down, you're gonna see this is called reference. This option is if you want to connect a specific section with let's say you already have products on your page. This is a little bit more advanced, so for now you can just ignore it. You don't use it much unless you're trying to connect if you want to try to connect two databases to display on one single page. So this is pretty much used for that, but for now we're just gonna ignore it because I want to make sure you learn first how the whole database and collections work before you start getting into more advanced things. And then multi-reference is the same thing. You can use multiple databases and pretty much display on a single page. URL, that's definitely something that you want to use if you're planning to add buttons, and when people click on the specific button, they can take them wherever they added that URL. So when you create your form, they add a URL there. That's going to be very useful. So for example, here when we create this page, then they're going to be able to, when they click the button, to go to that specific link that you added. Then you have, of course, a document. So this is very useful if you want to be able to upload documents, and also people to be able to display those documents or download them. Video, if you just want to add any type of video to the form so people can upload them or you can display them. Then we have audio, if you're planning to add some type of music to the page. Address, this is very useful if you're creating anything that had to do with like a profile and you want to grab their address, so whenever they type it will automatically use the Google data to display city and zip code, so it's very useful. Tags, this is gonna be also in the more advanced section that we're gonna be doing another video, and the following two as well, because this one you can use it for more custom things, but for now just these last three, just ignore them. We're not gonna use them, and it's very less likely you're gonna be using them. But if you have a specific task that you want to do, let me know, and if we're gonna use it, I can let you know how to use this part as well. And then lastly, we have media gallery, where we can upload up to 10 pictures at a time on the front end with a form. You can upload unlimited pictures if you do it directly from the Wix site. So now let's start adding our fields. Okay, so let's review this one more time, because this is the kind of like page that we're gonna be creating. Okay, so we need a product image, a first subdomain, a second subdomain, a main title, a button, and a background. So let's do this. So we're gonna go back here. The first one, it's gonna be product image, and because it's an image, we're gonna select this option right here. We're gonna click save. Then we're gonna add a background image, and we're gonna also select image right here. Then we're gonna have a subtitle. I don't know if that's how you say it, but subtitle 1 is gonna be a text, because we're not gonna be editing or changing the font or anything, so we're just gonna leave it as text. And then we're gonna create a second one, subtitle 2. Also, it's gonna be a text, and then save. Now, before we continue, I want to make a note of this. So whenever you add the name, you're gonna notice it created a field key. This field key, it's very important once you start doing more advanced things like filtering, like connecting specific information or content on your front end. So this is, if you watch my other videos, you can use the field keys for specific things. So again, don't change this, or if you change it, just make sure that anytime you create any content, if it's all lowercase, or if you're adding specific numbers or spaces, this is needs to be like something that you want to be aware and where it's located. Okay, also once you start doing code, this is going to be very useful. Okay, so we have our product image, background, subtitle 1, subtitle 2, the main title. The main title automatically is a text, and as you see, depends on which field type you selected, you're gonna have the little icon at the top, so it's easy to recognize. And then lastly, we have a button. So this is gonna be just button, and we can name it button 1. And then this is gonna be a URL. So we have there, and then we're gonna click save. So perfect. Now we have all the fields that we need, and we're gonna close this. So right here, again, let's say this is a page where people are gonna be displaying information that they want. And this is not like that's how you build a website, but this is how you can display specific information. So one way we can do it is we can add a strip here, right? And make this whole screen connected to that database. But let's say if in this same page you want to display multiple sections that look like this but with different content, then I will use a repeater. So you can design it as you wish. Pretty much once you connect anything, the design can be as you like. So here we're gonna add a list right here. These are called repeaters. So you can select the one that has the less content, so that way it's easier to edit. So we're gonna select this one. Then we're gonna click on manage, and you can delete the two options because we don't need that. Then we're gonna delete everything inside, and then we delete that and attach it to this, and we can even expand right here. Can make this a little bigger. Gonna make this one like that. Okay, so there you go. So now we have our box. The first thing we're gonna do is change the background, and we're gonna use an image, and this is gonna be just a placeholder. So once we click on the image, you can just select this option right here. Then we're gonna add a second image. So we're gonna go right here on the tool, gonna find an image, and then we're just gonna drop a small image, which we can name it product. So this can be product, and let's select something like let's use something like, let's say this one. We're gonna add this to the page. And what we can do is whenever you add an image, when you start doing specific designs, you can add images without a background, so that way it looks better. But because right now we're not going so much on the design, more on the functionality, we're just gonna add it like that. Then we're gonna add a text. We're gonna add a subdomain, which is gonna be this one. And because we need two, I'm gonna add it right here, and then we're gonna add a title, main title, which is gonna be this one right here. I'm gonna make it this big right here. The reason why I like to expand it is because I'm not sure how big the new content is gonna be. So if the person decides to add a long subtitle and a long like title, then you're gonna need that space. So then we need a button, and then we're gonna go here. We're gonna add this button right here. Again, this doesn't look much like the image that I just show you right now, which is this one. But if you want it to really look like this, it is possible. It's just all about how you're gonna connect the data. So let's actually make this a little bigger here. Let's move this right here. I'm gonna make this, expand that. There you go. And then we're gonna expand this right here all the way. And then we're gonna move this image right here. We're gonna make this thing a little bigger. So we're gonna select 100, and then this one is gonna be 60. Let's do 60. Nah, let's do 50. This is also gonna be 50. And then you have your button, so your button can stay the same, or you can make it a little bigger. The text, we're gonna change it to something specific that we want, but you can also connect if you want this text to change according to the URL. Then we're gonna go back here on our, we're gonna go back here on our content manager, and then we're gonna go back to services, and we're gonna add another option that is gonna be named button text. Okay, so we can connect it. So this is gonna be button text, and to be honest, this is the first time I done something like this, so we're gonna see that it works or not. And the reason is usually the text, you will have the word submit or it will have something specific, but because we're adventurous today, we're gonna do it this way. So we want to make sure that the text also changes according to the link that we're gonna be adding. So perfect. So we have everything we need. We have title, we have everything. Okay, now we need to create a page where people can upload this. So we're gonna add a page. We're gonna select blank because that's what we're doing. And this is gonna be upload, or we can name it form service 1, for example. You can name it whatever. So we create that. Once you click on the 3 little dots, go to settings. Actually, we're gonna go to settings, and then you're gonna go where it says permissions, and you can make this form available only for people that have registered to your website, or you can put a password. I usually recommend members, because that way they can create an account. You know who is the person that added. A password can be lost, anybody can have it. You can always change it, of course, but when they upload some kind of data, you don't know who did it. But with the members, that's what they can do. So for now, we're just gonna keep it as everyone, just because we're gonna be testing and using it. So we're just gonna leave it like that. And then we're gonna go back to the little button right here, and we're gonna start creating our form. So we're gonna go to input, and then we're gonna add the first option right here. This one is gonna be named subtitle 1, and then we're gonna duplicate. This is gonna be named, if you wanna give it the same structure, it's up to you, but you can also do subtitle 2. We're gonna duplicate this. This is gonna be named main title. And now let's go back here. So we have subtitle. Oh, one thing we did forget was the logo, so we can still add the logo right now, but we'll go back to that. So we need subtitle, subtitle 1, subtitle 2, title, button, so we need to add those, and a button for the text. So we're gonna duplicate this, and this is gonna be text, button text, and then we're gonna duplicate this. And again, one of the things with this form is you can use it for anything. So today we're just creating this just so you kind of see how you can create a form and how to use the database. But in reality, you can use it for anything. Once you learn how to connect things, it's, to be honest, very simple to do. So we have button text. And then the next one was, that's it, 1, 2, 3. And then this one is gonna be the URL. So we're gonna go here, and then you're gonna select this option right here, which says URL. So it recognizes that it's a URL. And then now we're gonna start from the beginning, and you can make it mandatory if you want. So for example, the subtitle 1, you can name it like just not required. That way it's optional. And the second one, you can make it mandatory. That way they have the main title and then the bottom one, but they don't need the top one. But it's up to you. And then the main title, of course, you want it to be mandatory or require. Then the button text, also you do want it require, and then the URL. Now we need to add the buttons to upload. We're gonna go to input to upload the pictures. Once we go on the input, we're gonna go where it says upload buttons. We're gonna add this first option right here, and this one is gonna be product image, and you don't have to do anything there, just leave it like that. As you can see, I automatically change it to image. And then we're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna name this background picture, image. And as earlier when I mentioned that here my brother Mayor asked if we could upload more than 10 pictures, this is what he was talking about. The max amount that Wix allows you to do the right, like just using buttons, is 10 images per button. You could upload more than 10 pictures to a page or to a database, but you have to do it directly from here on the content manager. So if, let's say, I wanted to add a gallery, right, and I want to add more than 10 pictures, this is how I will do it. So let's say I'm gonna add this gallery, and again, even if you add fields, if it's not connected on the front page, it's not gonna show, so don't worry. And then on the gallery, we're gonna add it right here, save. So once I go here and I click on this little button right here, I can add more than 10 images this way, but not through the custom form. So I can add image pictures. So for example, if I go here, I can add 10 pictures. So I can select. So this way you could add more than 10 pictures, but not the way we're doing it right now with the custom form. The button only allows you to do, as you can see there are all the pictures right there. So if we click on this, sorry, right here, if we click right here, you're gonna see that all the pictures are there. But if you're trying to upload it from the front end of the website, it will only allow you to do 10 pictures. And I have tried to add 2 buttons, use some code, but still I haven't able to do it. But just ignore that for now. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information from the beginning so you know what I was talking about. Okay, so our form is almost ready. Now we're gonna go back here. We have everything we need. The only thing we were missing, we were talking about adding a logo. So we're gonna go back here. We're gonna go back to the pages. We're gonna go to home because that's where we build everything. And then we're gonna add another option right here, which is gonna be an image. And this is gonna be the logo. So we can just put something like logo. See if it has something. So we can use, let's see. What can we use for logo illustrations? Let's see here. Okay. We're gonna use this option right here. And then we're gonna add the image. So we have the image right here. We're gonna attach it right here at the top. We're gonna make sure this is not too big of a box. Perfect. Okay, so there's our image. Now we need to add it to the content manager. So we're gonna go back to services and we're gonna add an option for the logo. And the logo, it's an image, right? Unless you want them to type the name of that company. So we're gonna add this option right here. And we're gonna delete this because we're not using it. So we're gonna add here, we're gonna name it logo. And then right here, we're gonna go on, where do you go? Image, right there. Logo, image, save. And then it's right there. We're gonna click here, delete this option because we just added it right now. We just want it empty because we're gonna add everything new right now. We're gonna close this. We're gonna go back to our form page, which is this one. And right here, we're gonna add a button to upload the the logo. So we're gonna select this one. The color doesn't matter, it's just a different design, so don't feel like you have to use that specific button. So just to let you know, and you can always customize the color right here in this section, so you can change like the color, you can also change the font size, everything in there. Okay, so it's there. So we have now that, and lastly we're gonna add a button to submit the information. So we're gonna go here on button and go all the way to the top. I'm gonna add this option right here, and this one definitely has to say submit. Okay, so that's it. Now we have everything we need. We have our form, and then we have where our information is going to be displaying. So now all we need to do is go back to Content Manager, and we're going to add a data set. So we're going to go here, click a data set, and you're going to see this option. Now this option is not going to be visible anywhere on the website once it goes live. It's only visible on the editor, so you can place it anywhere, doesn't matter, whatever is easier for you to reach. Once you're here, you're gonna click settings, and you're gonna go here on this option, which is gonna be able to connect to the database that you created. Okay, this will be a name that it's gonna be given after you connect that, and this usually the dataset name. This is useful once you start using coding. So for now, don't worry about this. Mode, this is definitely important. Read only is when you just want to display information. Then you have the second option once it's connected. So we're gonna go over this, but let's connect it to services. So as you can see, this one you're not gonna use it unless you're doing some type of code. This one you're definitely gonna use the mode. So if you wanna only display the information, because right here we're only displaying everything, it's gonna be read only. If it was a form, we can just use write only. Read and write is if you're creating a place where people can add and edit content from the database. So that's where you will use this. But because we're only displaying, it's read only. Number of items to display. Because this is a repeater, let's say we want to add multiple information. If you only want to display the first 3 or 4 or 12 at a time, if you have that much content, then all of those are going to display at the bottom. But if you don't want that to happen, we can add a button and we can have it like display more, so it will load more of the images or the content that you have, which I'm going to show you how to do right now. So once that's it, we can just leave it as 3 for now. We're gonna close it, and now we're gonna connect everything. So the first one, we're gonna connect it with the little snake right here, and you're gonna select services. Right here, you're gonna go to Subtitle 1. Then this one is gonna be connected to title. This one is gonna be Subtitle number 2. And then this is gonna be the image for the product. We're gonna go here, and this is gonna be image source product image. We're gonna click to this one right here, the background, and we're gonna select connect to data, and this is gonna be the background image. So you leave that there, and go here, background image. Okay. And then once you do this part, we're gonna go here and we're gonna connect a little text. Let's see if this is gonna let us. Let me see. Okay. Let me see if I can do this. Where'd it go? Let me see. So what I think is gonna happen is not gonna let us connect to the text. Again, this was the first time I was testing this, but it's not letting us connect just the text, so it displays whatever information we want. So on this one, the text has to be changed to, for example, by watch, for example, watch now. So unfortunately, the text is not going to be connected to there, but the most important part, this button will be connected to the URL. So that we do need. So we're gonna go here and button 1 URL. Now, as you can see, the text will always stay the same on all the pages. So make sure that you know what text you're gonna put to that button. So change. I think the main reason why you can change it is because it will affect how big the button gets. So that's why I think you're not able to change the text from the dataset, but it's connected. So now we have that. We're gonna go back to menus and pages. We're gonna go to our form, and then here we're gonna go to content manager, add a content element, and we're gonna add a form dataset. Again, if you add a, let's go back. If you add a dataset, so let me show you what it looks like. If you add a dataset, automatically selects read only. If you add a form dataset, it's gonna say write only. Okay, so again, it's gonna say read only for a dataset, and a dataset form will automatically come as write only. Now, it doesn't matter which one you pick, because to be honest, you can always change this option right here. You don't have to stick with that option. So let's connect it. Services. Because this is a form, we want it to be write only. Okay. But in this case, again, if for some reason you select the wrong one, you can always change it. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter on what's going to happen here. So definitely you do have to select the right one. But when you're adding the dataset, that if you select dataset or dataset form, that will matter, but the way you're going to connect it does. So right here, we're going to select write only. The number doesn't matter, so leave it there. And then once we do that, we're going to select this option right here. And now we can start connecting everything. I'm going to go first one. It's going to be subtitle. Subtitle 1. It's going to be subtitle number 2. This is going to be main title. Sorry, right here, title. This is going to be a button text that we couldn't make it work because it doesn't work that way. So we're just going to connect the button. And this is going to be a button. Let me change this. This is missing a T. Okay. This is going to be button URL. Actually, this is where you can just name a URL, because that's where you paste add the URL of any place you want it to be sent when they click that button. Make sure this option also select the URL, and then that you can close. Then product image, and I go here, product image, and then background image. We go background image. Now remember, we added the logo, so we gotta connect this one, and this is gonna be logo image. And then now we're gonna connect the button, connect, and here we're gonna select submit. We're gonna add a success and a failure message. Sometimes if you add it and you don't see it, try to preview, come back, and it's gonna display, because sometimes it gets sent somehow on the back of the page. So sometimes I'm like, where did it say? I didn't add it, and it was added and I added multiple times. Then I publish the page and I see a bunch of them there. So just keep that in mind, okay? So if you add it and you don't see it, it's because it end up going somewhere on the back. We're gonna go back to the button. We're gonna click again the little snake, because this is something very important to know. Once they click submit, do you want to send them back to the page where they just gonna display the information so they can see it was successful as well? you can click here where it says when successful navigate to, and it's gonna take them to we're gonna select link, and then when you select link you're gonna click choose, you're gonna select page, and you're gonna send them to the place that you want them to be, which was the home actually. Then done. Now we're gonna test it. I'm gonna click publish and we're gonna try it. I'm gonna go here, and one thing we need to do is we didn't connect the logo, so we're gonna close this. Let's go back because we added the image and somehow we didn't add it. I mean, we didn't connect it, so we gotta connect the logo. Where'd it go? Now it's hiding, as you can see. Refresh the page because I don't see it there. It probably moved on the back. So okay, let me see. We're gonna go here on tools, gonna put on layers, and we have this image right here. Let's see, as you can see, it's in the back, so we're gonna bring it on the front. There we go. I'm gonna find it right now because it's hiding in the back. Where'd it go? Want to make sure it gets sent to the back. There it is. Okay, there it is. So we're gonna connect it to the logo. There it is, logo, perfect. So now it's connected. We're gonna click publish, and we're gonna actually add a menu here so we can navigate easier. So we're gonna close this. We don't need it right now. For some reason it keeps moving on the back, and I don't know why. Okay, there it is. Oh, I see why. Because we didn't attach it. It needs to be attached to the page. So this is what we need to do. So it's attached there. Then we're gonna attach it to our repeater. Okay, so anytime something like that happens is because you gotta attach it to a specific item. So just remember that also. And make sure this is moved. Okay, then this thing, just leave it like that. Trying to adjust this thing. We need that for now. It's gonna go back here. Okay, there it is. So what we need to do is we're gonna add a menu just so we can navigate easier. And we're just gonna go vertical menus, and then we're gonna add a menu right here. Perfect. So now at least we can go back and forth. We're gonna go to the page. So as you can see right now, nothing is showing because there's no data, there's nothing to display. So we're gonna go to our form service, and we're gonna add our first one. So we're gonna be like something like get best product, and then the second one is like you will love it. You will love it. And then this is gonna be the main title, buy it today. Okay, and then the URL, let's say we want them to go to this YouTube page. So we're gonna go back here, you copy your URL, you paste it right there. I'm gonna add a product image. So we're gonna select something that I have on my pages here, and let's say this guy right here, and I use that one. Then the background image, we're gonna use this one. And then our logo, let's see if I have an image for a logo here. So I haven't downloaded much. Let's download one right now. Or actually, let's just keep this one as a logo. No, but I want it to look good, so let me go here. Gonna go to logo. Just gonna go to images and just gonna select one. Like let's type PNG and let's select this one. See if this one will work. Gonna download and save. So we'll see. If it doesn't work, it's fine. We'll fix it right now. So we're gonna add a logo and we're gonna select that one. And now we're gonna click submit. Now there's two things that are gonna happen. If for some reason our data set or a database permissions are not correct, then it's not going to display anything. But in this case, because we were able to put anyone can do it, so we don't need to sign up. So if you were to add on your database permissions like members only, I will have to sign up into the website for me to be able to add the content. I could still see the form, but it won't add it to the page. So we're gonna click submit, and it should, if it's successful, it should take me to this place. So there you go. As you can see, it added our page. Doesn't look exactly like this because again, we're not using the right images and the right layout. But now watch, this is the important part, the button. So if I click here, it should take me to that specific place. Right, it's not working. 1 second. This is something that we need to test and see why it's not taking me there. So let me go back. So again, once that happen, if something like that happened that it's not working, just go back and try to see why it's not working. And we're gonna see here and see why it's not connected. So let me see if it is connected to the right place. Now we're gonna go back to the form and we're gonna make sure the URL is connected. So as you can see, the URL wasn't connected, so we're gonna connect it. So that's very important. When something doesn't work, don't be like freaking out, just go back and try to check one by one. So now that one is connected, so we're gonna publish. Now because we already added content there, I cannot just go back and try to add a title URL because it's only gonna display to that one, and because this is only a writing data set, it's not a read and write, it's not going to be able to update the information. So you can create a second form, or you can create it everything within the same form to be able to edit content. But in this case, we're gonna go here and cheat. We're gonna go to services. We're gonna do everything again, so that way you can see. So we're gonna delete the data that's here. So if let's say I wouldn't wanna add it again, I can just go here, paste my link there. But we're gonna delete this whole thing and we're gonna do it all over again. So I close this. I'm gonna refresh this and should be, sorry, it should be empty. So we're gonna go to the form. Okay, so this is gonna be the subtitle. The first one is gonna be like, try our newest product. Subtitle is like, you will love it. This is gonna be the one at the bottom, and then the main title, and you can arrange it however you like. Buy it now, and then the URL. Now we're gonna copy this again. It can be any type of URL. We're gonna paste this, then we're gonna add a product image. So I'm gonna use again this guy for the product. The background, we're gonna select this one. Actually, this one was good. And then the logo was whatever logo you have. And then now we're gonna click submit. And now it should take us, because it's successful, it should take us here. As you can see, now your page is there. If I click the button, now it should take me there. Perfect. So it's working. So as you can see, the button works. Now we're gonna go back to the form service and we're gonna add it again. So the second option is gonna be like try our let's say we're gonna do house for sale, biggest house, and then subtitle is like free what they call it, open house. Well, let's do open house. And then the URL, let's say we're gonna take them to say realtor, oh yes, yeah, in selling to Zillow.com. Okay, we're doing free marketing for Zillow. I mean, we're not, but we're just gonna use them. Perfect. Now product image, we're gonna use this picture right here. Background image, we're gonna use this one right here. And then logo, we're gonna use the same one. And then submit. Now it's gonna display at the bottom of that one. We can also have it be showing at the top, like, see. So as you can see, the more content I keep adding, it's gonna keep adding at the bottom, right? Now the way I set it up with my data set, it should only display 3, no more than that. So how you're able to add a button that loads more if there's more content, because for example you don't want to display all the information, or it's totally up to you. So we're gonna go back here, we're gonna add one more. Love it now, get this house and open house. Then the URL is gonna be the same one. Product image, we're gonna select this one. Background, gonna use this one right here. Logo is gonna be this one, and then we're gonna click sorry, that one, yep, logo, then submit. So perfect. So as you can see, it's loading, and there it is. So it added a third one, and if we click on the button, it should take us to that page right there. We can close that, and then the second button takes us there. So the buttons are working, so everything is perfect. Now we're gonna go back to the editor, we're gonna go back here on the home page, and what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be adding a button right here at the bottom, and this button we're gonna connect it, and this is optional, so we're gonna add it right here. This button is gonna say load more, or view more, whatever you want to call it. And then we're gonna go on the little snake. This one, because it's a button, will have the settings, so you don't have to do anything on the data set. And I click here, you're gonna click on more, let's see where it is, load more right here. Perfect, and that's it, that's all you gotta do. So we're gonna click there, publish, and now we're gonna add one more product right here. We're gonna refresh this, so that way you can see how it's gonna look. So you're gonna go, as you can see, you have these 3 products. Once I'm gonna add the other one, this one is gonna disappear because we only wanna display 3. So we're gonna go here, gonna add the title, testing buy now Perry, and then this one is gonna be just like a main title, your dream home, and then the URL we're gonna use here, let's say we're gonna use something like just YouTube. I'm gonna use YouTube, and then we're gonna go back here, paste YouTube right there, product image, we're gonna select this one right here. Actually, let's select a different one, this lady right here. Then the background, we're gonna use the kitchen right here. The logo, I'm gonna use the same one, and then submit. Now again, it's gonna be added, and see, as you can see, it's at the top. And now the other one is not there, but now you see the button. So if I click, now it's gonna show me the other one. So that's how you use the load more button. You can only display a number amount of items, and then the everything else that gets added is just gonna be hidden, and unless you click load more, it's gonna show you the rest. So you can use this for different purposes, but again, it's totally up to you how you want to use the information I just showed you today. And if you have questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm very happy and I always love to help people. So I never, if I don't have time, I'll be like, can we meet this time? But I always like to help. So please let me know how I can, support you. And again, also I want to thank you for the support that you're bringing to this channel and for helping me grow. And well, I'll see you in the next video.